Welcome back to my channel, or if you are new, welcome to my channel. My name is Andrea, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about some makeup brushes, makeup tools that one, you need in your life, and two, should be buying if you are on a budget. What's also really cool about this video is that all of these products that I'm going to show you are under $10. If you guys are really on a budget or just starting out your collection and you want to make some good investments, but you also don't want to spend that much money, I mean, $10 pay for any brush tool is amazing. I know sometimes it is kind of hard being bombarded left and right with like all these companies coming out with amazing brushes, or you see all these like gurus using all these high-end brushes and stuff like that. And trust me, at one point I was like, girl, ain't nobody gonna drop that much for a brush or a beauty sponge. Like, I can't be having that. These are brushes that I use all the time. These are brushes that I use over some high-end brushes that I have, or high-end makeup brands that I have. These are tools that actually work. You guys know I would never recommend something to you guys if I have not tried it myself and if I don't love it. I also have various brands here because I want to give you guys some variety of what you can buy online and what you can buy in store. So yeah, I'm not gonna make this video any longer than it's already going to be because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. But I do want to mention that if my voice kind of comes and goes and stuff, it's because I am getting over a sickness. Like, I was never actually sick, but I kind of sounded sick and I had like 6 symptoms, you know what I mean? Anyway, let's jump into some makeup brushes and tools. We'll start out with a couple brushes from e.l.f. That's a huge brand that lots of people know, and it's also a brand that has lots of hits and also lots of misses, but these are definitely hits. They have quite a few lines of brushes, and so far out of all the lines they've come out with, the black line, the professional line or whatever, I think is my favorite. So the first one I want to talk to you guys about is the Ultimate Blending Brush. So it's rounded out at the top, but it's nicely dense and packed in there. The reason I like this one is because this is a multi-use brush. So this is great to pack on foundation and really just buff it out and push it into your skin so it lasts all day. Because it's so like nice and fluffy at the top, it's great for powder products on your face. So whether you're setting your face, you're taking out like your baking powder underneath, you use this for blush. You can use it for multiple things, and I think when you're buying brushes, it's good to buy brushes that can be used for more than one thing because they save money. You know, instead of buying 3 or 4 different brushes, you could buy 2 brushes that do 3 or 4 different jobs. Another really good one I like is the Smalt Taper Brush. It's nicely tapered and rounded right here at the top, and the reason I like this one is, again, it's a multi-use brush because the bristles are densely packed in here and there's not that many. So this is great to apply highlighter. I've used this to contour before. Just get right in there in the hollows of your cheeks. This is amazing to set your under eye if you're dusting off stuff on your under eye, set like the T-zone areas and stuff. And I gotta say, you guys know I am a Sigma affiliate. You guys know I've used Sigma before, but this is pretty much the exact same thing as a Sigma tapered blending highlighter brush, the F35. It's pretty much the exact same thing. The only difference is obviously the ferrule and the handle on it doesn't say Sigma. If you haven't tried this one, I highly recommend it. It's a really, really good brush for multiple things. The next one is the highlighter brush, and this is a more recent addition to e.l.f.'s line. I think it just released within the last couple of months or so. What I like about this is that this is like a powder brush and the small taper brush together. So if you look at it like this one's a little bit more flat, has a lot more bristles, but it's a lot more rounded and curved at the top, and it's only compact in the center. And what I love about this one is that obviously this one is great for highlighter. It's a highlighter brush, but because it's kind of like a flat paddle here, you really do get a nice application of highlighter there. You can also set your under eye area, dust it off. You can apply bronzer with this. You can also apply blush because of the paddle handle here, but also because of the number of bristles that it has on the center. And then the last e.l.f. brush is the e.l.f. fan brush. Even though this one is not a very good multi-use brush, like you can't really use this with anything besides applying highlighter here and like your nose, your cupid's bow and stuff, it works amazing for highlighter. I absolutely love it. It holds on to the right amount of pigmentation and it just blends out so nicely. And you wouldn't think that it would blend nicely because there's only, you know, a couple of bristles on here and it's pretty thin if you really look at it, but it's dense enough in here to hold on to the product, and it's fluffy enough here to kind of like evenly disperse it out. So these next ones are newer, but they're not new by any means. These are from Wet n Wild, and this is their vegan line. I know these are 100% vegan and cruelty free, so that's a bonus. I pulled out 3 because they have an entire collection with tons of eyes and face brushes. It's a really good deal if you're actually looking for that, because I think the entire like brush collection is $35. I know brushes that are $35 for one brush. If you're a beginner in makeup, or if you want to expand your collection but you don't want to invest a ton of money because you're not sure if you're going to use brushes like that or how exactly they work, I would pick up some of these because they're very affordable and most of these do the job really well. This first one is the foundation brush. It looks just like a flat top kabuki. It's very compact, it's flat at the top. This works really good, but I've noticed that with like really extreme full coverage foundations or more like really thick, creamy foundations, it's not the best to blend it out, but I'm totally okay with it because a lot of the time I just use a liquid foundation, and this one still blends it out very nice, very airbrush, very clean, and it doesn't leave streaks. This next one is the blush brush, and it looks just like this. This one's very similar to the e.l.f. highlighter brush. This one's a lot more fanned out, and then it curves perfectly at the top here. And I just love this one. This one's another great one that's good for highlighter if you want to contour with it, because it is pretty like thin right here. You can get right into the hollows. Mostly I just use this for blush. It mostly packs color on really nicely, and you can use this to blend it out without it looking streaky again or taking out too much product. And then the last one of my favorites from the Wet n Wild collection is the angled brush here. Normally I don't use angled brushes when I'm bronzing my face, contouring, or anything like that, but I really like this one. It just has a good amount of bristles on it, and that totally matters. You want something that's small enough that's going to fit into the hollows, also blend out at the same time, because if you have something like a flat top brush, you're just going to get a huge streak. I like using this one too when I'm cream contouring or taking away setting powder from the under eye area. So this is a really, really good one too. These next ones are oldies but goodies. I'm sure you've heard of them before, and I have 3 here from Real Techniques. This first one is the Real Techniques contour brush, and I'm sad to say that this one only comes in a set, like the core collection set or something like that. The collection itself is $19, but you do get 4 different brushes, and all those brushes are good. I do use them, but this one is definitely my favorite. You wouldn't think something like this, it's just like a perfectly round ball, would be good to contour with, but it actually does. It's really nicely in there, and you can blend out product at the same time. This also works great if you want to apply your blush. Use this to like blend out my concealer, pack on powder on your under eye area. So it's also one of those multi-use brushes, but I really, really love this one for contouring. It just leaves a nice defined contour, but it's not so chiseled out that it just kind of looks like a line on your face. These two you can buy separately, or you can buy them at a set too. This one is the blush brush, and it looks like this. It's a really big blush brush. This is almost like a powder brush. I don't know what it is about it. It's a little bit tapered at the top, but not too tapered, so it's different than a powder brush, but it works amazingly to blend out your blush. You apply it on, and it doesn't like cover your entire area. It's just like the little area that you want to focus on, and then you can do small circles and blend it out nicely. Otherwise, I've used this to bronze my face. It's a really good multi-use brush, but its purpose is for blush, and it works really well to do that too. And then the last brush is the setting brush, and it looks just like this. This is a really good brush for multiple things. This is great to blend out your concealer. This is great to set your under eye area, set your concealer. I've used this to color correct. I've used this for highlighter before. I've used this for contouring. So it's really nice because it's so small. You can just do so many things with it. You can also just like, you know, some shadow base onto your eye. I've used that for that as well. It's another really good multi-purpose brush that you can buy in a set, or you can buy separately. All right, so let's break up from the brushes a little bit. I'll talk to you guys about some sponges that I think are really good. Obviously, the first one I'm going to talk to you guys about is probably no surprise. This is the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. It's dirty because I just used it to do my makeup today. I really, really love this one. This is a really squishy sponge. This is wet, so this is what it looks like when it's wet. It's got a flat edge on one side, and then it's got a pointed tip on the other side. I've done cream contouring with this. I use the flat side to pack on my foundation, and then this tip to blend out my concealer, and then dunk it into like my powder and use that to bake. So it's a really good alternative beauty blender sponge because it is as squishy and it's as soft, and it does blow up nicely. Still prefer the beauty blender over this one, but if you are on a budget, this is a really good alternative. The next beauty sponge, again, is probably no surprise because you heard me talk about it in my February favorites video. This is from L'Oreal. This is the L'Oreal Artiste Blender Sponge. It looks just like this. This is dry, so I haven't wet it underneath, but even when you wet it, it's kind of like the beauty blender, and it's like the Real Techniques. It gets really squishy, it gets really soft, it gets a little bit bigger than this, and this is a different shape than both the beauty blender and the Real Techniques sponge, and I think that's why I actually prefer this one. Like, I prefer this one still over the Real Techniques sponge, and I love that one. But I just like the shape of this. It's got a rounded flat surface at the bottom, so I love just packing on my foundation on there, and I think it makes it so much easier than like the slanted tip on the Real Techniques one, because you could just get like right on in there, and then it still has that pointed tip right there, so I can also blend out my concealer, put a shadow base on my eye. Oh, maybe it's like I said, maybe it's just the grip, or I don't know what it is, but I just like that like this side is the bottom and this side is the top, and you don't have to worry about like a slant. I don't know, but I just still prefer this one over the Real Techniques one, but both are really good, and I think this is like $7.99, something like that. So they came out with more sponges in the L'Oreal line, but out of all those sponges, I still prefer this one. This one is really, really good. The last sponges I have to talk to you guys about are from Royal Langnickel. This is the Moda Pro Variety 4-pack, and I have mine out. This I will be including in a future giveaway for you guys, but I wanted to show you what the pack looks like so you can look for it. And as you can see, you get 4 different sponges on here. This entire pack is like $9 or $10 exactly, which is a steal for 4 different sponges. So you get one that looks kind of like the L'Oreal one. It's like a round one with a point. You get a smaller version of that. This one over here that kind of looks like a beauty blender, but it's more cut at a slant, and then another mini one here. And this is great because you have pretty much everything that you could need for your face in one set. You can apply your foundation with that one, you can blend out concealer with that one, you can apply highlighter or cream contour with this one, and then you can set your face or like your baking powder underneath your eyes with this one. And I've used all of these, and these are very similar to the L'Oreal ones. They grow a little bit bigger, not as big as like a beauty blender. They grow a little bit bigger, but they're still squishy, they're still soft, they don't suck in any of the foundation or any of the product that you're using or that you're dipping it into. And these also do work. They blend out your product very nicely, and they apply on any product or powder that you have very nicely. All right, we're almost done. We're almost done. Sticking with Royal Langnickel, I have their Royal Langnickel and Moda brushes. And the Moda collection from Royal Langnickel is now available at Walmart, so it's even easier for you to get your hands on them. I've seen these two sold separately, but I think these come in a set, and I'm pretty sure most of these sets are under $10. I know for sure these are under $10. I'm not sure about the set. So these are the ones that I got in my Generation Beauty swag bag. This is the Triad concealer, and then this is the eye shader brush, and these work really well. I use this one for the inner corner, otherwise I use it to clean up my brow bone area. So I also use it to smoke out my lower lash line. So you would think the shape is really weird, but you can actually get use out of this one. And then obviously this is an eyeshadow brush. I don't really think this is the best one to blend out any eyeshadows with, but I love packing it on. Otherwise, like I said, the inner corner, if I'm doing my nose, contouring or like highlighting my nose and stuff, I will use this small one. So these are good if you're looking for some basic brushes that you can use on your eyes. I really, really love these. This is the multi-purpose powder brush, and I really like this one because it's very similar to the Real Techniques blush brush. This is supposed to be a powder brush, but it works great to bronze up your face. It works great to apply your blush, to set your face or powder, you know, anything like that. So you can get multi-use out of this one. Bristles are so soft. This one is my favorite out of the entire collection that they have. This is the Highlight and Glow brush. This one looks a lot like the Real Techniques brush, but the handle is longer, and this one is a little bit slimmer, and then the bristles are longer. And I think I really like that about that. Because the bristles are longer, it's so much easier to really kind of put highlighter into that certain spot that you want, or like the tip of your nose, and then you can also blend it out. This works great if you want to set your under eye area too. I really like just the feel of this brush. It's very soft, and like I said, it's the right amount of bristles and density to really get a nice pop and highlight every single time. So these next brushes are sold online, but I've seen one of these brands in store, like at TJ Maxx and stuff. If you guys see them, pick them up. This first one is from Coastal Suns. If you are an OG subscriber of mine, you know how much I love this thing. This is the BR250 Pro Blending Fluff. This is an exact dupe for the Sigma E25. This is like the Sigma E25 and the MAC 217 had a baby, and this is like what came out with. The perfect amount of blending bristles. Normally all the blending brushes I have are high end just because I find that they do the job a lot better. This one, oh my gosh, it's like $4 and it kills the blending game. It's like nice and fluffy. It's a little bit tapered at the top. It's fluffy enough, but also dense enough in the right areas. So I use this mostly to blend out the outer V, or if I really want to do like a nice cut crease or like get into that crease area right there. But also because it's a little bit tapered here, I've used this to like smoke out my lower lash line, to like apply inner corner highlight right here, or just do my nose contour and stuff. It's a really good multi-purpose brush, and for blending brushes, this is the cheapest and the best that I have ever found. These last couple products are from BH Cosmetics. Like I said, this is an online retailer, but I think BH Cosmetics I've seen in stores at TJ Maxx. So if you're trying to look for them, go to TJ Maxx or Marshalls. I've seen them there too. So I have a couple brushes from them when you buy by yourself, but I love this one. This is like their ultimate blender. It's just a really fluffy brush. So in any tutorial that I'm talking about, when I'm like just use a fluffy brush and blend it out, this is what I'm referring to. It's dense, but it's not so dense, and it's round. It gives a really good airbrush finish to your eye. This one is big enough to blend out product and to like really give no harsh lines and blend shadows out, but it's also not so big that if you apply it onto one precise area and just work it in that precise area, it's not going to give you definition, which is what I really love. Another reason I love this is that I think this is like $4, $5 as well, and it's the perfect blending brush. I've also used this for like nose contouring. There are even times where I'll use this to like really go in if I really want a chiseled contour on my cheeks, or like to add highlighter to my nose, because it's so fluffy. And obviously I've used this to apply my eyeshadow base and to blend out eyeshadows. So I love this one. When I first started getting into makeup, into doing YouTube and everything like that, this one and the Coastal Scents one were like my ride or dies for the longest time, and they still are. Like, out of all of the brushes I have, I still use those constantly and pretty much every other day, because they're so good and they're so comparable to high-end brands. And then these, I don't know if you can get individually. I purchased this as a set. Itself was $10. I think it's like the Essential Eye Set or whatever from BH Cosmetics. And I love how just pretty they are. It's like a black with a gold ferrule. These kind of reminds me of the Gold Sigma Edition brushes, but obviously they're not. And it just comes with really essential brushes that you need. So you get like a flat brush, and this is really good if you want to apply concealer or to color correct. Because I like using this to apply my eyeshadow base. If I'm going in with like a glitter or something, this is great because it's like really thin and it's really flat. This is an angled one, and I don't really use this for eyes. I use this mostly to contour my nose. Otherwise, if I'm applying like highlight in my inner corner, or sometimes I'll use it to apply my brow bone highlight or clean up my brows. So you can get use out of that, but I don't really use it to like blend out eyeshadows. You get this teeny tiny one. It's supposed to be for eyeliner. I don't use this for eyeliner. I mostly use this to clean up my lip area, or if I really want to carve out some of my brows. So this one I don't get as much use out of, but it came in the set, so I use it either way. And then these are the three that I do get the most use out of them. This is a pencil brush. It's nice and pointed, but it's not as thin as the eyeliner brush, and this is perfect to smoke out your lower lash line, try to do an inner corner highlight, otherwise to really carve out your brows. You can just do a lot of things with a pencil brush. And then of course you get a nice fluffy brush. This is not as fluffy as the other BH Cosmetics brush that they have. Sorry, it's like curved because it was slanted weird when I put it to dry after washing them. If you want a little bit more definition, you have to go in with a smaller brush to kind of really carve out that crease, and this is perfect for that. This is also perfect, like I said, to apply like your nose highlight, to a little bit of highlight on your cheeks. Otherwise I'll use this to nose contour. And then the last one is just a shader brush, and it's a little bit thicker than the other eyeshadow brush, but that's okay. I use this one just for standard eyeshadows on my lid, or if I'm doing like an inner corner highlight, or for my brow bone highlight. It's a really good one. But overall, like, I get use out of pretty much the entire set, and the entire set was $10. And the bristles aren't rough. They're very soft. They don't feel plasticky. They don't feel scratchy, and they don't shed, which is a really good thing that you want in your brushes, so your bristle density stays the same. Those are all the brushes and tools that I have for you guys under $10. Let me know down in the comments below if there are some other brushes that you guys are using under $10. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Otherwise, if you guys just like me. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you can stay notified for when I post new videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, all that stuff is also going to be linked down below for you guys, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.